Hey guys, welcome to my new video. Honest to God, I was debating whether I should do this video or not because I just felt a bit awkward and also uneasy about doing this video. Also, there's construction in my home, so there might be background noise. But this video is going to be about how to feed a juvenile bird. Now, regardless of what species you have, one thing that's very important is that you let your vet know. I need everyone to understand that I am not a professional. Please let your avian vet know that you do have a juvenile bird, and in case of an emergency you could actually take it to them and they know what's, they're up to date with your whatever is going at your home. So the thing that I use, which you actually can't see it in frame, but I do have paper towels and Kleenex. They're just above at a countertop I have here, whatever, so just for cleaning purposes. But I do have a scale which it goes by grams. I have a thermometer, a 10 milliliter syringe, which obviously doesn't have the needle, and then a formula of your choice. Now I'm going to get to the formula a bit later, but let me start from here. So some people don't know how much to feed their bird. Now there are different guidelines. I'm going to give you guys, specifically for cockatiels in this case, a feeding schedule that I kind of use. In my case right now, my bird is close to 3.5 weeks or so. So I give it food every 4 hours. So it starts from 8, so 8, 12, 4, 8, and at 12 at midnight. And throughout the whole night I don't give it any food. That's because I want the crop to completely empty, so we start again the next day. So that's just the schedule that I go with. Please do research, because every bird will have a schedule, and at every stage there's going to be a different schedule. So if you have a very young bird, you're going to have to do night feedings. If you don't, you might not have to do night feedings. In my case, I find that my bird doesn't empty the crop, and if I were to give it at midnight, again, I want it to empty its crop. That's because it prevents crop rot. You just want the formula out of the system at least once within that 24-hour period. So basically, the reason why we use a scale is, one, it's on grams. We get the grams, we give it 10%. So how that would work, let's say your cockatiel weighs 80 grams. Then, let me get in focus, sorry about that guys. I will be giving it 8 milliliter of formula. Now for me personally, I will go 8.5. I just go 0.5 with whatever number I get. That is because my bird is a bit of a messy eater, so some of that just goes all over the place, so I'll just give it a tad bit more. Okay, so with the formula, it does say that you should feed every 10 or 20% of your bird's needs. I feed 10%. I find that that works well for my birds, and I suggest people feed 10% as well. I use the exact formula. Now I have had a few of my friends say it's not the best formula. I do live in Canada, so let's just be honest, just like everyone else out there, you probably don't have a good formula. There's just not many good ones unless you get it online. And again, my purchase with my bird was a bit more of a rapid decision. I didn't intend on a juvenile bird. I intended on a cockatiel, just not a juvenile one. So this is the one I have in Canada. This is the one I use. It gets the job done. It's not the greatest, it's not horrible. I'm just kind of reading a few stuff. So just like my suggestion, this says that you could also feed 20%. Again, I wouldn't really go to the 20% mark. Please check your species, because that could be different. In my case, I only feed 10%. Another question you guys might have is, how do you exactly feed 10%? I'm gonna go by 10%, it's just easier. So let's say you weigh your bird, and obviously we'll have it in grams, so that'll just do its thing. Let's say the bird weighs 50 grams, right? What I will do is only give it 5 milliliter of formula for that feeding, and that's about it. The next footage, I'm going to show you guys a bit more of what the consistency of the formula should be, and how you should use them sparingly, if that makes sense. I don't know, hopefully I'm not doing a lot of gibberish, but let me show you guys what different consistencies look like. Okay, so these are the 3 different textures that I thought would be beneficial to share with you guys. None of these are bad options. I think people might be confused on what texture to feed, like how runny the formula should be, and it really depends on how old your bird is. And also different species go by different requirements. In this case, I'm going to go by cockatiels. So for my cockatiel, the first 1 week or 2 week, this is what typically would be used. It's more runny, so it has more water content. Now this is the one that we are on right now. It's not runny, but there's still some bounce to it. Now the other one is this. Now this is also not bad. I personally prefer using this texture. As you can see, it's pretty clumpy. I use it more so when we are close to our weaning stage, because it kind of gives an idea of what chewing is like. So that's pretty much the simplest way I could personally explain it. So this is kind of the simplest way. I know I have my fingerprint there, but this is the best way I could really explain it. Like I said, not one option is better than the other. It just depends on the different stages. And when I tried explaining it, I tried going by cockatiels, simply because obviously a cockatiel is going to have different stages compared to a cockatoo. I don't know why anyone with a cockatoo would be watching this, but I guess with budgies and stuff it makes more sense. So if you have a budgie that's juvenile, this might help you. They're not really too far off. I mean, species, they're different, but the concept, regardless what species you have, it's not too different. This is just the simplest way I could explain it. Now let's start making our formula. Again, for my stage, I'm going to be using this middle stage. Okay, so this is what I have, and I'm going to do this with one hand. Hopefully it's not too bad, but sorry if it is. So this is one formula. The reason why I'm doing one at one bird, so it's kind of wasteful, but just for the sake of the video, I'll be adding 1 scoop. And this is my hot water. Believe it or not, it's boiling with hot water. And I personally try doing half-half. Sometimes I kind of need a tad bit more. So, and then I mix, which I'm going to do off camera because it's very hard with one hand. I know someone's going to be looking at this and be like, why is she using the end of a fork? We have construction in our kitchen, which basically means that I don't really have a lot of utensils to use, so we use plastic, which isn't the best option, but use whatever you have. And let me show you what it looks like at the end. Now, sorry guys, there's construction noise, but anyway, now that I have my very small concoction, what I will do is actually use a thermometer to get a temperature reading. Now, okay, there's seriously a lot of noise. I don't even know how this is gonna turn out. The thing is with the thermometer is that you want at least, I think, close to 1 inch of formula inside. That is because that's to help get an accurate reading. Another thing is, please do not microwave your water or your formula over again, because that could have hot spots and you don't want to burn your bird's crop. So like I said, I try going for anywhere less than 120 Fahrenheit, and I try going for something more than 110. The reason is that I find that when it's a bit colder, my birds don't, like my small juvenile cockatiel doesn't really eat it. So mine does be, it is between, typically it's around 112, 12, 13, around that stage. So yeah, so it is a bit hot right now, so I'm gonna wait for it to cool down and then have my setup ready and have my bird come here and weigh it. When my bird does come, there's gonna be a lot of noise, so I'm gonna try making it quick. I might not be able to film feeding it simply because it's gonna be hard with one camera, one syringe, and then feeding a very hyperactive bird. So yeah, let's wait for this to cool down. So this is what my setup looks like. I'm not going to try making it pretty or anything just for a YouTube video, simply because that's really not what it looks like. I have my scale, my formula, my syringe, and then extra napkins, which I will be using just in case there's a lot of mess. So I will be bringing my bird, and then from this point on, I'm just going to put it on mute or have subtitles instead. So what we will be doing, just for a recap, I'll weigh my bird, get the percentage, and then we'll be feeding it. I don't know if I could get the feeding on camera. If I can, you're in luck. If I can't, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try my best to get my bird and my camera as angled as I possibly can. There's really no tips I could give for how you should kind of feed your bird. The best thing I could really say is try going with the flow. Another thing is, don't be afraid if you have any mistakes. even if it goes slightly around the nose, like the sear, to anyone who knows what I'm saying, like the bird's nose, don't be afraid. After you're done, or you could wipe it off, or you could gently damp it, very gently squeeze out all the water and try cleaning it. If you make a big mess with your bird and it has a lot of formula around his neck area, you could use a paper towel like this, wash it with lukewarm water and try wiping that off. So really, don't be afraid if you have mistakes. I know a lot of people could be judgmental within the community, but please don't be afraid. Try your very best, and again, like I said in the beginning, let your vet know just in case things go down horribly wrong. So let me bring my bird. I'm gonna have it on mute, and hopefully you could enjoy some music and see what I do from there on. So this is our little guy, very hungry, or girl, I don't know yet. We're gonna go to the vet tomorrow. We get it gently, grab it a little bit, and then hold it, cause, oh, come on. Okay, so it's 75 grams, and I'm gonna try getting the camera off because it's gonna be very dangerous. So this one, if you look at the, okay, my bird's screaming a lot, but hopefully you guys could hear me. I actually made it around 8 millimeter. I'm gonna feed around 7, and then pretty much 0.5 milliliter or 1 milliliter. It tends to go a bit for, you know, waste because it makes a lot of mess. So yeah, now I'm gonna feed my bird, and it's screaming very loud. Guys, this is why you don't want to leave your bird, because it literally was coming off its bin. This could have been very dangerous. Let me take him out and feed the little guy. Hey guys, we're done with the feedings right now, and I'm gonna add a perch soon, because as you can see it likes perching, and it's very loud. I'm sorry about that. Also, it might have looked a bit messy. I don't even know if I got the footage correctly, but I have to take the little guy, which is tomorrow at 11:30. We're gonna be seeing our avian vet. That's because I'm worried about its vision. It actually might not have good vision. This is why our feedings could be a bit messier than I would have liked. But yeah, hopefully the vet could give me more answers. So yeah, I hope this was somewhat informative. I tried my best. Again, like I said, I'm just a beginner at this, and I thought I should have shared my beginner advice. Hopefully it helps some of you guys. I don't know who needs this advice, but hopefully it does. Yeah. I gave him a little bit of a bit. Oh, look how quiet down it is now. Okay, maybe number 9. Okay, maybe not. Okay, I'll see you guys soon. Oh, it's quiet down a bit more. So I'll see you guys soon. Maybe tomorrow I'm gonna film another video for you guys about our vet appointment. So yeah, he's a little loudy. So yeah, guys, bye bye. Thank you for watching.